The Detroit Lions just surprised everyone. The front office just made a decision that could change the course of the defense as early as Week 5. The team surprised everyone by signing veteran cornerback Trey Flowers, a Super Bowl veteran who brings precisely the experience the secondary needed during this time of injury crisis. But wait, before explaining why this signing could be a game-changer for Detroit, like the video because this update could directly impact how the Lions face the Cincinnati Bengals without Joe Burrow. The Detroit Lions continued to demonstrate that their strategy of investing in depth and versatility on the defensive line can yield immediate results. After a training camp in which the franchise surprised everyone by not retaining any of its undrafted edge rushers, such as Keith Cooper and Nate Lynn, the front office turned to the waiver market. They found names that are already contributing, and one of them is starting to attract particular attention: Tyler Lacy. The defender, who joined the Lions after a stint with the Jacksonville Jaguars, where he primarily played nose tackle and three technique, is getting more opportunities in a different role, lined up as an edge rusher. Against the Cleveland Browns, in his second game of the season, Lacy was tested in this new position and responded with a solid performance, recording 3 pressures on the quarterback and 1 tackle in just 27 snaps. The coaching staff's vision is clear: to maximize the player's versatility. Dan Campbell emphasized in an interview that what's impressive about Lacy is not only his strength and physique, but also his intensity with which he plays the field. According to the coach, his height and ability to seal the edges offer an additional asset to the defense, as Lacy can collapse the pocket when lined up outside, and at the same time return to inside roles if necessary. Campbell emphasized that the defender plays big, plays strong, and that he sees him as an athlete capable of adapting to multiple roles within the defensive line, something essential to the team's scheme. This characteristic reinforces the Lions' philosophy of investing in players who can play on multiple fronts, creating tactical alternatives without the need for significant external reinforcements. This move also explains why Detroit opted not to invest heavily in another edge rusher on the market. With players who offer versatility like Lacy, the defense gains more dynamism and opens up room for strategic adjustments during games. The next test will be against the Cincinnati Bengals, and Lacy is expected to receive even more snaps, especially after his convincing performance against Cleveland. If he maintains this level of performance, the defender could establish himself as an important piece in the rotation and become one of the franchise's sure bets for the season. Lions family, I want to hear your opinion. Do you think Tyler Lacy can truly establish himself as an important piece in this defensive rotation and even become a positive surprise playing as an edge rusher? Or do you believe he should continue to be used more inside the line? In my opinion, it's incredible to see how the Lions are able to get the most out of players who arrive without much prominence, demonstrating that the roster is well assembled and full of versatile options. Now, I want to hear from you. Leave a comment if you think Lacy can be a difference maker against the Bengals and throughout the season. And of course, if you're enjoying the channel's updates and analysis, please leave a like. It really helps our work and strengthens our Lions community here on YouTube.
The Detroit Lions continue to show they're not wasting any time adjusting their roster to maintain their strong start to the season. And just days before their Week 5 matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals, the Detroit franchise made a key decision to bolster their secondary, signing veteran cornerback Trey Flowers. The move came shortly after the arrival of linebacker Ty Summers and cost wide receiver Ronnie Bell his spot, who was released on Wednesday. This move clearly demonstrates the coaching staff's priority to strengthen one of the most vulnerable areas of the roster, as the cornerback position has been plagued by injuries since the early rounds. Reporter Aaron Wilson was the first to confirm the transaction, which is already being seen as strategic within the Lions' planning. Trey Flowers isn't just any name on the market. Since entering the league in 2018 as a 5th-round pick by the Seattle Seahawks, he has demonstrated consistency and the ability to adapt to different game situations. In Seattle, he immediately earned a spot as a starter, starting 40 games and appearing in 47 total, before being released midway through the 2021 season. His journey, however, didn't stop there. He soon found a spot with the Cincinnati Bengals, where he participated in the team's Super Bowl LV6 run against the Los Angeles Rams. This experience not only added weight to his resume, but also demonstrated his ability to be useful in high-pressure situations, something Detroit clearly needs at this point in the season. After his time in Cincinnati, Flowers continued to roam the NFL in search of a starting role. In 2023, he had a brief stint with the Atlanta Falcons, then moved on to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and most recently the Chicago Bears, where he played throughout training camp in 2025. Although he didn't secure a spot on the Bears' final roster, his experience and versatility in covering various roles in the secondary kept him attractive to teams in need of immediate reinforcement, and it's precisely in this context that the Lions step in, offering an opportunity for the player to become part of the practice squad, but with a real chance of being activated quickly if needed on the field. This signing is no coincidence. The Lions secondary has been facing serious challenges regarding roster depth. Currently, the unit features Khalil Dorsey, Rock Ya-Sin, Amik Robertson, and Avonte Maddox. While all are capable players, none of them can compare to the level of DJ Reed, the group's main player. Furthermore, the team remains without rookie Ennis Rakestraw Jr., whose return date is still unclear. Faced with so many absences, Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes seem to have understood there was no room for risk. Bolstering the roster with a veteran who has seen it all in the league could be the difference between maintaining defensive consistency or struggling against stronger offenses throughout the season. On the other hand, for Flowers' arrival to be possible, someone would have to give up their spot, and the chosen one ended up being Ronnie Bell. The wide receiver was in his first season with the Lions, but already in his third NFL season. Drafted in the 7th round by the San Francisco 49ers in 2023, coming out of the University of Michigan, Bell never managed to establish himself as a key player in San Francisco, and in January 2025, he signed a futures contract with Detroit, joining the practice squad. Despite showing effort, he ended up being a victim of the team's current situation, which prioritized defensive depth over risking keeping him as an offensive option. For Bell, the release could mean a new opportunity elsewhere, but for the Lions, the message is clear: defense comes first. In addition to Flowers, the Lions' defensive supporting cast also includes defensive back Eric Hallett and safety Lauren Strickland, players who can complement the secondary rotation as the season progresses. This set of moves shows that Detroit is aware of its weaknesses and doesn't intend to let the season slip away due to lack of depth. And the strategy seems to make sense. The Lions are in position to reach a 4-1 record with a victory over the Bengals in Week 5, something that could solidify the team as one of the NFC's forces at the start of the season. Another factor weighing in the Lions' favor is their opponent's momentum. The Cincinnati Bengals will be without their starting quarterback, Joe Burrow, which naturally weakens the team's offense. Still, Detroit's secondary can't afford to give up, as even without Burrow, Cincinnati has high-level targets in the receiving corps such as Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, capable of single-handedly deciding games if given space. This is precisely where the presence of an experienced player like Trey Flowers can be invaluable. Even though he's still on the practice squad, he brings the confidence of someone who's faced big names and played in high-pressure games. In short, the Lions' move reinforces a clear message. The franchise won't waste its good run at the start of the season due to a lack of defensive players. With Flowers' arrival, the team gains more depth, experience, and confidence, all elements that could make all the difference when the games start to get more intense, especially in December and January. If Flowers can settle in quickly and demonstrate the same level of competitiveness he displayed in his prime, this could be one of the most underrated yet important signings Detroit has made in 2025. Fans will undoubtedly be closely following how this story unfolds, and the matchup against the Bengals will be the first test to see if this strategy truly pays off. So, Lions fans, what do you think of this move by the management? Could Trey Flowers' arrival really provide more security for our secondary during this time of so many injuries? Or do you believe the team still needs to look for another, more impactful reinforcement to hold off the Bengals' offense and also focus on the rest of the season? Let us know in the comments if you approved of this addition or if you think Detroit still needs a bigger name for the secondary. Also, don't forget to like the video. See you next time.